a little weak, yeah. We're so happy, even when we're spiraling out of fear. Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like, yeah.
Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing our dead prom queen look that I've been waiting to do. Again, I'm not naked. This is my prom dress. It's a shirt, but it's a prom dress. Okay, so we're gonna start off with eyes first, actually. And the first thing we're gonna be starting out with is our eyelid primer, and this is Milani's eyeshadow primer. And then just setting my lid with some translucent powder. For this look, I'm going to be using our Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm gonna go into Warm Taupe, and I'm taking my Soft Dome blending brush by Makeup Geek. And we're just going to be applying this right above the crease and working that up towards the brow bone. Next, I'm going to be grabbing my Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going into Cypress Umber, which is just a very dark brown, and tapping that off. And then I'm just going to be popping this right into the crease. And I'm going to be slowly building this up until it's as dark as the other side. And you want to bring this a little bit farther above the crease, just because when we cut the crease, we're going to be cutting it kind of high. Put it. Okay, once I'm pretty happy with that blend, we're going to be going into our Too Faced Glitter Glue. And I'm just going to be applying this with a flat brush from BH Cosmetics. Grabbing a little bit of that, placing it on and looking up. Then going into our Stila liquid eyeshadow in Kitten Karma. I'm just going to be taking the little wand it comes with and going right over that glitter glue. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera. If you guys want to see my full face routine, I will link it down below. But yeah, I will be right back. Okay, now that the face is done, my nose is still baking, ignore that. I'm just going to be taking a simple black eyeliner and popping this right into my waterline. I have not worn a bottom eyeliner in so long. Then I'm going to be taking this dual-ended Anastasia brush that I don't know what palette it came in, but it's just a pencil on one side and a blending brush on the other. We're going to go into Cypress Umber and blend that black eyeliner out. And then going back into Warm Taupe with the blending side of the brush and just running this under to blend it out. I'm sorry, my Snapchat is going crazy right now. For lashes, I'm going to be using the Kiss Lash Couture Triple Push-Up Collection in, we've done this before, I don't know how to say it, Brazier. Got it, first try. Now that lashes are done, we're going to move on to blush, and I'm using my Milani Cosmetics Luminoso, which is almost gone because it's one of my favorite blushes. For highlight, I'm going to be using my trusty Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics Champagne Pop. I would show it to you, but it's broken into a million pieces because I dropped it in Florida. And then just applying this to the tops of our cheekbones. And also using this to highlight the tip of the nose in the bridge, like so. And then I'm also just going to pop a little bit in the inner corners. So the first thing we're going to be starting out with is the cutthroat. Okay, for the throat, I kind of already did a part, but basically what you're going to do is I spooled some of the Flesh latex onto the back of this eyelash holder, whatever. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to want to work in parts. And you just basically want to create basically a blank space. The latex, just outline it. The reason I'm using tweezers instead of a brush is just because I don't want to ruin any brushes. I've done that too many times to count. Okay, now that you've done your flesh choker, you're gonna let that dry. It's gonna feel really weird. It's normal. Now that it's drying, I realize that I need a little bit more, so I'm gonna go in with a second layer now that the latex is dry, I'm gonna go back in with my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation and apply this right over the latex. It feels so weird. Hey, get off your sister! Anyone remember what that's from? My friend's fans up in here. Do you want to be in the video, sir? You do? Well, come on up, dude. Come here. Lame. Now that we've applied foundation over it, I'm gonna be going into my CC Beauty Professional Cosmetics 12 Flash Color Palette. And I'm going to be dipping into the red, and I'm gonna take this small little detail brush from BH, and we're basically gonna color in the cut. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tweezers and kind of push the latex to form, you know, this little flap or whatever. So it just looks a little more realistic. Okay, now that we have those little flaps, we're gonna go back in with that red and color it. Then I'm gonna be dipping into the black in the face paint, and I'm just going to be running this on the edges of the flap just to give it some dimension. I'm gonna wipe off the brush and kind of smudge the red and the black together. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set that with my Ben Nye neutral set. Now I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I'm going to be using this dark purple right here, dipping into literally like a little tiny bit of that. We're gonna kind of dab this around the wound to create bruising. And then just go in and kind of buff it out. If you have like a throwaway sponge that you don't really use, a really good trick to do is pulling pieces off so it creates this like jagged whatever. I'm going into the purple with that. And this is just a really good tip to use because it'll actually like look bruised. Now going into this yellow right here, this is also going to help create a more bruised effect. And just running this over the purple. Now taking the jagged end again, and I'm going to be taking this deeper red in the palette. We're gonna be doing basically the same thing, but I'm gonna be keeping this closer to the wound. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of black and just dab this very lightly. Now I'm gonna be taking this, where'd it go? This red right here and a small brush and just running this on the outside of the scar just so it looks irritated. So I just feel like this looks still too clean. I'm gonna add all the blood and stuff on at the end just because blood dries pretty quick and I don't want it to. Now for this next step, I'm basically gonna be making it look like I was stabbed in the head with a heel. Okay, to create the hole in the head, we're going to be going back in with that flesh latex. I'm just gonna be taking my tweezers again and putting a big old glob right here. And I mean like put a lot of it on. And I'm gonna kind of smooth out the edges. But there needs to be like a lot in the middle. your hair out of it. Keep your hair out of it. Okay, now that the latex is dry, I'm gonna go in with my tweezers and create a hole. And then covering that up with some foundation. I'm gonna be coloring it in with some red face paint and then going in with black around the edges. And then do some of the bruising. Okay, now I'm going to do the black eye. I'm just gonna be taking a pencil brush and a little bit of black and just doing one of these guys, and then right over here as well. And then going in with purple and very lightly dabbing it. I don't know where all that color came from. And then you really want to also bring this into the eye socket up here. And then just grabbing our sponge and kind of blending this out. And then going in with a little bit of that black. Okay, now that I'm pretty happy with that, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of black and purple and kind of go under here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on my 3-year-old and up crown. I am gonna be using 2 different types of blood. I'm doing an extra thick blood and then vampire blood. This one is darker and thicker. This one is thinner and good for drippage. So this is the thicker blood and I'm just going to be dipping into that and putting that right into the wound area and kind of really building it up. Just so it pools, as gross as that sounds. And then doing the same thing to the neck slit. And then going around the edges of the wound and just kind of randomly splattering blood. And then I'm gonna be taking the vampire blood, which again is that thinner blood, and we're gonna kind of drip this down the wound where the heel would be. You can let it drip on its own if you want to, which is I'm doing with some of them. And then taking our little sponge guy and kind of blending some of the blood out. And then I'm also just gonna be taking that little sponge guy and kind of randomly bloodying up pieces of my face and such. I almost forgot the lips. Mabby. I'm going to be lining with my LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner, and this is in, oh, the name got ripped off. It's just like a peachy pink. I just love when that happens. And for gloss, I'm going to be using our NYX Butter Gloss, and this is in Fortune Cookie. If you guys liked it, if you guys did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for some more Halloween tutorials that I have coming up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.